All right. Now, looks like we can start. I should be on air right now. Guys, if the most important message for the start, if it cuts me off because I don't know, for whatever reason, around this time, my ISP becomes very unstable. So if it cuts me off, I will come back within a minute. So you can, wait a little bit and surely you will see me coming back live on air. So yeah, that's a warning eventually if you see me disappearing or I don't know, buffering, the video buffering or something like that. So worry not, I will finish this live stream in an official manner. I will let you know that I'm already done, and that's it. Okay, if you have any questions, of course, write me in the live chat. I should see it in on my phone right here, but I will be checking it here too because these are actually two live streams. One runs in vertical mode, another one runs in horizontal mode. So yeah, I'll be controlling it here. For those that don't know me, my name is Hightech. I am in this market, in the crypto market, for soon to be 11 years, almost 11 years by now. So I share with you my expertise here and my experience. And in between the lines, I also explain what high-tech meme coin is and why you should be interested in it. And yeah, and the only thing left to say is Jesus is king, and let's go, let's start. So yeah, the title of today's live stream is How Not to Lose Trading Futures. So yeah, I'll be explaining it, how not to lose trading futures today. But let me quickly take a look at what we are dealing with. I was live streaming earlier today, and I promised you I will live stream later today, so that's what I'm doing. I keeping my word. So the thing I really like that we can spot on Bitcoin chart today is that we already closed Thursday on UTC. In UTC time, and we are in Friday right now, according to UTC. And Thursday, as you see, has been green, which supposed to play a role according to what we could observe recent weeks, even recent months, right? Recent months, this rule emerged, this regularity emerged that once Thursday closes green, the rest of the week remains green. If Thursday closes red, the rest of the week remains red. So yeah, this is a harbinger of some further upside, and in my opinion, that writes into very well, writes very well into how the last week of October should look like. Statistically speaking, last week of October for many years back was really good. It was really good. It was very explosive. If you know the statistics about October and November, that makes October and November the best months. When it comes to October, that's thanks to the last week of October, right? The last week of October it makes the October a great month, right? Without what usually happens last week of October, October would not have those great statistics, right? Up to date. So of course, the longer a certain pattern repeats, the closer we are to breaking up with it. But I don't think that is going to be the case this time. I think we can easily bet on October to end with a punch in a positive way, in a positive sense. And yeah, Thursday looking like this finally. First green Thursday in quite a while. So I think it's going to deliver. I think it's going to deliver. Crypto bubbles will never go over to look at overall. Altcoin market, as you see, is very green. It turned very green. Mostly for now, it's just a recovery of what we have seen in recent days, right? Because we've seen a little bit of pullbacks. So, most of profits here are simply showing us a recovery from those pullbacks, and that's it. Those are not, let's say, objectively speaking, pumps. Not just yet, but I think it's going to turn into those desired and long-awaited, juicy, spectacular pumps. I think it's just about time. By the way, allow me to review live chats. So, for those that see this content for the first time, of course, give me a subscribe on my YouTube channel, English YouTube channel, because I also have a Polish YouTube channel. On my English one, I have 99 subscribers so far, so I'm short one to get 100. So I'm happy to get there. Hopefully, YouTube will then position my channel slightly higher once I get over 3 digits, the number of my subscribers. It's been a hassle, to be honest. With this English channel, it's been a hassle. The Polish channel was growing much faster. It is growing much faster, the English one. I don't know, for whatever reason, YouTube does not promote it, does not show it, and that's unfair. That's really unfair. So you can make justice that way. So when it comes to those metrics, we always consider crypto fear and greed index, the lowest in quite a while, 28. Altcoin season index also the lowest in quite a while, 23 even. So all of it favorites the bulls right now, not the bears. Forget about the bears. The bears already got what they wanted. They got their dip, they got their opportunity. If they didn't buy anything on moves that big we saw on Friday 10, then they just missed the train, because it's not like this market is going down forever. It's going to descend forever. No market does that. Bitcoin at $62 million liquidation is mostly shorts, as you see. Ethereum 60 million. This is for last 24 hours. Also, no, here it's actually much more even. Longs and shorts almost break even. Where we have a large discrepancy is at Bitcoin market. Yeah, 47 to 14. That's quite a difference. And yeah, let's take a look at liquidation heat map. Has anything changed there since last time took a look several hours ago? But probably not. More or less the same. And that being said, of course, most of liquidity rests above the price. That's bullish. Highly likely this is an unorganic liquidity. And this part, of course, is very important to understand what to do on futures market to avoid losses. I mean, I've been talking about it on this channel on many occasions, many live streams, but I never, let's say, set it up in the title to let people know that I actually can give a very solid advice in that field, right? Because of course, most of retailers, they get persuaded by whatever they hear from their crypto influencers, favorite crypto influencers, how much money can be made in the futures market. But they overlook one very important incentive in it, and that is, of course, promoting an exchange, right? A given exchange, and then giving a ref link So you know register through that ref link on exchange, and then that influencer has a fixed cut from all of your trading, right? All of the fees that you pay while trading. So if there is a number of users like that, especially if you are talking about those really big guys, dozens of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, most of them, of course, will be using those ref links. So even though it's a very small part, trading fee, generally speaking, is a very small part of the cost that your trading carries, and they have a part of that part, right? They get a part from that part. So it sounds like they should be doing nothing, but when it amounts to thousands of people, then it becomes money. It becomes accountable money. So their interest is to recommend it to you, and the the bigger pay they get, the biggest pay they get is when you get liquidated. If you don't believe me, go over to trading fees table of whatever exchange, and you will see the largest fees that you pay is when you get liquidated. So economically speaking, they have the greatest incentive to get you liquidated, as a matter of a fact. So that is why that could be, let's say, number one thing, how not to lose money. Not number one. The first thing I'm mentioning, how not to lose money trading futures. So avoid advice from somebody whose incentive is the opposite of yours, right? Their incentive is for you to get liquidated. Your incentive is not to get liquidated. So you're literally on the opposite ends of the stick. So remember about that one. And the second one is, which is actually the crucial one, most important, is to have awareness of how it all works. What is the mechanics of it? And that includes several things. Like one of them is how stop losses work. That stop losses, whenever you use them, are not guaranteed to be triggered when you are trading on exchange. When there is elevated traffic, right? Meaning that a lot of users are using the exchange, and you set up your stop loss at given price. If there was more people with the same stop loss price as yours, there is a queue, right? You literally stand in a queue for your stop loss to get triggered, right? So if there is a lot of people that did bet literally on the same price as you, if you're unlucky, before your turn comes, your position will get liquidated, right? So that is a very important thing to know about. Your stop loss is never guaranteed. It's never guaranteed to work. That's one thing. Another thing is how the futures market is used by the big players. And it is used in a very, let's say, undesirable way from retail traders' perspective. Why? Because whenever nothing happens on the spot market, meaning that money cannot be made on the spot market, market makers are highly encouraged, highly incentivized to go to the futures market and grab the money from there. And how do they do that? Well, for example, if they see that there is a buildup of liquidity on the short end, so let's say, as you see right now, Bitcoin is moving down. So retail may think this, what the hell just happened? I don't know what have I done here. Okay, maybe like this. And now I made a lot of dots. Okay, allow me to remove it. Okay, so whenever price is going down, that's somewhat common. Retailers will start to bet the market will go further, so they, you know, open their short positions. They put them in the order book. They occupy the order book on sell side with shorts. And of course, they hope the price will jump up slightly just to trigger their their shorts, and then it will slide down, giving them profit, right? So this is generally people betting money. This is a stash of cash, an accumulation of capital that is betting that the price will go down. So what market makers do in that situation, they will open a large long position. It does not have to be a one offer. It could be if they use, a more sophisticated system, which most of them do. This will be looking like a bunch of different offers, not a one offer. But I say one offer just to simplify. One big long position slash offer. And in the meantime, because market makers, of course, they are big boys. They have a lot of money, and they have a lot of credit score. They can even if they don't have, let's say, cash on their balance sheet right now, they can just borrow it for I don't know, literally 1 hour or two. They have possibilities of doing that whenever they see, there is a very nice opportunity to actually earn some good buck. So what they will do, they will pump the price up, making these guys here lose the bet. And because they bet on the opposite end right here, so all of that money goes to them. And that's what they do constantly, right? Whenever the market is moving big, whenever the market is moving small. But when it goes sideways and you cannot really make any money on the spot market, where market makers can generate income is the futures market. So the futures market, the purpose of the futures market is actually to create a constant cash flow, inflow of cash for them whenever there's no other ways of generating profits. So yes, we are at huge disadvantage there. But that begs a question. Okay, so if, let's say, I have a tool such as liquidity heat map, can I use it to guess which direction they will be heading next, and position myself in the same direction as them? Well, at first sight, at first thought, it sounds like a good idea. But the main problem with that approach is that they are not stupid, and they know that you will try to do that, and that is why oftentimes they use that against you. So what they will do is they will simulate a certain, let's say, distribution of liquidity on tools like this one, just so you think the price will go certain way, and then they use it against you. So for example, they can make these yellow lines to appear here. You will think the price will go up because market makers will go for it, and instead it will go down. Why? Because this large concentration of liquidity will be made by market makers themselves. So that's called spoofing. So they will spoof the market just so you think what you're doing. You think you're the smart one. You bet, having that inside knowledge, and it turns against you. So yeah. So what you can do in that situation, having all that basic knowledge that, as a matter of fact, 99% of market participants in the futures market have no idea about. They have no knowledge of it. What you can do in that situation? Not to lose money in futures market, knowing how rigged it is. Well, there's one solution. There's one single solution. And that solution is never trade futures. Never trade on futures market. Trade on the spot market. Because there you have much larger margin of error, and the price can always come back up. Whenever there is a huge dip, like for example on Friday 10th, review whatever coins of your interest, how they acted, back then, what exactly happened there, and see how large recoveries from like minus 99, minus 90, minus 95, minus 80%, how large recoveries they got. Most of them, they recovered to a point where at the end of the day, the loss was of, I don't know, minus 10, minus 20%, not anymore, right? Even though in between it, in many cases, it went down literally minus 99% with small change. So only the spot market gives you the ultimate position of strength, actually position of choice, a chance to for situation to get fixed, to wait a little bit, how things are playing out. Whenever the emotions come down, is this really the end of the world, or maybe people just panic a little bit? The futures market does not give you such comfort, right? So the futures market, once you reach your liquidation point, the chips are taken off the table by the casino, which is exchange, of course. And I know it could sound a little bit disappointing to most of you, probably it will, but that's the harsh reality. I mean, is it that harsh? To be honest, if your trading is as precise to even stay afloat for several months on futures market, then you will be crashing it on spot anyway. So you shouldn't be that worried. And remember that even if market is going down, right, and you're not making money in USD or USDT, but you're accumulating in the coin you are trading USDT against, you are earning money. As a matter of fact, you are earning money. You're earning money in different currency in that asset, but nonetheless, it's also making money. It's very important to get that awareness, because when market comes back, when it recovers, when it recuperates, then those units is cooked up on the way down now give you value in the currency that you desire more, right? So in USD. So that's the real logic of it. If your trading does not give you good results to the right side, to the left side of trading pair, and right side, and in the final effect, right side of trading pair, then definitely your strategy is wrong and something's wrong with your trading. At least, even if you are losing to the right side of trading pair, which in this case would be USDT, right? Because this is BTC USDT, but you are earning to the left side, then there is a thick chance you're doing something right. Your probabilities increase immensely that you might be on the right track, or even you may be on the right track. The worst case scenario is when you lose to the left and to the right, right? Like in 5, 10, 20, 30, actually, the least you should, let's say, evaluate is 50 trades. If you lost money to the left and to the right side of trading pair, then definitely you're doing something wrong. You should be increasing let's say, amount of units at least on one of the sides of trading pair. So yeah, that's what I wanted to point out today when it comes to futures trading, and I hope you consider it useful, somehow useful. That's the reality of it. Take it or neglect it at your own responsibility. If you guys have any questions, of course, ask me in the live chat. So it's super cool to see people people getting engaged in the content. And don't forget to subscribe, of course. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget that there is a way of investing in this YouTube channel. And the investment gateway to it is Hightech Meme Coin. You will find a tutorial to how to acquire it in the description section of this live stream. This is the only project I promote on all of my social media. Hence, it translates indirectly to kind of stock market of my social media. So yeah, to some of you that could, appear quite interesting. Okay, let's go over maybe to Bitcoin dominance. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance, how this one is behaving today. Yeah, last time I took a look at it, it was railing. It was maintaining its uptrend. That does not nullify my theory about this inverse Adam and Eve playing out. I believe it's going to be something among these lines. Of course, it can take different shapes, because this spike here is Adam, and this one is Eve, of course, the round one, the round part of this formation. So we'll see how it's going to play out. The thing I unexpect the most is an uninterrupted trending towards 63% here, where is the next, let's say, major zone of resistance. That will be most unexpected on my side. So I don't think we are going to see it. I think we should expect altcoins to explode any moment by now. And speaking of altcoins, let's go to other chart. And here as well, Thursday has closed green, so that's very good. And we are back in this zone in between $245 billion and $250 billion of capitalization. So yeah, we are resting on that very, very thick zone of support. And after a huge sell-off, order books on sell side should be completely empty at this point, meaning that whatever buying pressure should be pushing price upwards from now on. So, end of October, we must add to the whole equation. Most bullish week, actually, statistically, in a year for crypto. So yeah, I'll be very, very surprised if we don't see upcoming few days with very clear results, right? Uptrending prices here, much more impressive results, much more impressive pumps and profits. So yeah. Okay, let's go over maybe to my X timeline and let's see what else has emerged since I live streamed last time. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. In the morning, my morning, by the way. In the morning, I was live streaming on Rumble Studio, so it was going to multiple platforms at once. But at this hour, since my connection becomes unstable, so that's why I decided, okay, I will do live stream only on YouTube, because once I get cut off, it will not reconnect to remaining platforms. It will stay only with YouTube anyway. So, the risk is quite big of that happening. So I will stay rather only with YouTube for this second one. And that is why maybe this more worth of subscribing to this YouTube channel instead of watching me on other platforms. Because if this uh, stays like that, then I will have to make the first live stream on Rumble Studio and the second always on YouTube only. I don't know what the hell happened on my phone. Something has happened here because I lost the live chat. Okay, here it is. But this is live chat for horizontal live stream, and where is the live chat for vertical one? Let's take a look at this one. No, I don't see it here. I don't see it here at all, which is a weird thing. So I think, yeah, I think I have to come back to the vertical one. Now I have lost it completely. This is weird. Okay, whatever. I have it here anyway. I don't want to make it too boring. So yeah, let's move on. Sorry guys for that small pause. So Vivek Santomli just said Bitcoin will follow gold and hit $2 million in 5 years. It's happening. 5 years, that's a lot of time, to be honest. Many things can happen within 5 years. But let me tell you, governments have little interest in pumping Bitcoin. At least not for that long. Probably the best bet for all of governments that are in huge debt is to create their own stablecoin and then try to popularize as much as possible and use global liquidity to let's say, how would I frame it? To use the global liquidity for the sake of that grossly overprinted amount of currency that they have. Because the problem with printing, the main problem with printing is that whenever you print fiat, there is a limited liquidity that can give it a lift, right? That can sustain its value. But if you allow literally the whole world to use your currency in unrestricted manner without banking system, which stablecoins allow, then you immediately, suddenly have multiple dozens of times more, at least dozens of times more liquidity to sustain the value of your currency, right? So that is why that's the best bet for all of the governments that overprinted their currency. Not actually, creating a new world reserve currency in form of Bitcoin, or actually supporting the idea of making Bitcoin a world reserve currency. Although, because Michael Saylor, for example, from what I know, he on few occasions was talking with Donald Trump about getting as much Bitcoin as possible and then pumping it, and this way paying off the debt of United States, owning vast amount of in that scenario, something that could be considered a world reserve currency. It makes sense. I will not say it doesn't make sense, but the problem is then Bitcoin has certain attack factors that could be very, very difficult to mitigate if executed properly. Forking Bitcoin is already problematic. Forking, I think, would be the easiest to simple, dilute Bitcoin, split it in two. So if there are two blocks, and on the Western block and the Eastern block, it could be enough, to weaken Bitcoin as world reserve currency with just, forking it, and there will be the Eastern version of Bitcoin and Western version of Bitcoin. And that's like the easiest one. And there is much more to it, right? There is much more to it. So I'm not really sure are they going to try it, like for real. The easiest one is with stablecoins. That's definitely the easiest one. Yeah, so for whatever reason, I don't see the second one, the second live stream. I don't see the horizontal one, but I see there has been 58 views, so that's really cool. That's really cool. There is people visiting this live stream and spending at least a couple of minutes with me here. That's super cool. But guys, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, give me a subscribe, and yeah, just so you don't miss whenever I live stream again. And write me something in the live chat. Right, write me something. I don't know. Ask questions if you have any. If you think you have something to share, with me and with the others, then go ahead and write it. Oh, and I almost forgot. By the way, you will not be able to write in the live chat if you're not subscribed. You must be subscribed to write in the live chat. So, because some of you maybe are trying to write something and you see you cannot. That's because you're not subscribed. You must be subscribed to live to write in the live chat. Allow me to even write it. You must be subscribed to write in the live chat. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should be doing every single live stream. Maybe I should put that message in the live chat every single live stream. Let's see. So yeah, so from charting perspective, it looks like it has a huge potential. I know left and right, mainstream crypto influencers that are trying to scare you that something really terrible could happen in the crypto market. Something is around the corner, some major correction. Of course, it can always be the case, but I don't really think that's very probable after what happened on Friday 10th. Yeah, like I always try to teach you guys, markets move from high saturation to low saturation, and low saturation meaning low redistribution. So high redistribution to low redistribution, and low redistribution happens when majority sells off and gives whatever they were holding to those that are willing to take it, right? And usually that comes at a huge discount. So-called strong hands are accepting, that basket of assets at very, very discounted prices, and they can hold, right? Hold it. They can hold without any problems because they are usually very well calculated. They usually do not overinvest. They can let it sit and wait until something really, really significant, comes out of it. So that is why right now we are definitely at a very low saturation point. So that means, according to market mechanics, the way it works mathematically, it should see pumps. Um, okay, I'm not sure if I'm still online. There is some messages here popping up. Or maybe I am. No, here it shows I am online. Okay. All right, but let's go back to what we've got on my timeline on X. Anything new? This one we've seen already. But Peter Schiff, what is he talking about? The debate is on. CZ Binance and I will debate Bitcoin versus tokenized gold. We just need a moderator. Who do you think is best suited for the task? Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan would be interesting. Yeah, Joe Rogan is cool, but Elon Musk, it would be really, really cool too. But I don't think he has time for things like that. I don't think Peter Schiff and CZ are big enough for Elon Musk, to be honest. I mean, he he's the richest man in the world right now, uh, excluding royal families, of course, because royal families are so stupidly rich that it's not even, let's say, expressed in any ranking that talks about talks about that kind of stuff. Renu Kumari. So this guy is probably of Indian descent. Python is difficult to learn, but not anymore, including the Ultimate Python ebook, blah, blah, blah. Python is not really that difficult to learn with ChatGPT. ChatGPT can be your tutor to learn Python or Grok or whichever LLM. I think that's the most efficient way of learning programming languages nowadays. Just keep asking ChatGPT or Grok what to do and how, and if it doesn't work, then you just troubleshoot it with them. Justin, President Trump to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping next Thursday to negotiate trade deal. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Sounds good, but the problem lies in the execution. How well executed it's going to be. I'm positively surprised that so far I have not been disconnected. So I don't know, maybe my ISP woke up already and noticed something was going wrong and fixed it, hopefully. CryptoGoose address holding between 100 and 1000 BTC have been aggressively accumulating. Okay, now it's slowing down. Worth watching this closely. Okay, interesting. Interesting. What this chart? Okay. Oh, all right. Okay, this chart has descents. Okay. So right now, but whatever descent could be observed here, it was always very shallow. Definitely not reflecting how huge price swings were to experience um, in the market itself. Nonetheless, quite interesting data, to be honest. Bitcoin Teddy. President Trump says the United States will be the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto. But that's a very old. That's a very old quote. That's probably from last year, I think, or maybe sometime earlier this year. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Or if you want to share something interesting with me and the others, also let me know in the live chat. Why not? JP Morgan expects the Fed to end quantitative tightening next week, but we are already in quantitative easing since they, pivoted on hiking interest rates. We are literally already there. So I don't fully understand what they are expecting. They're expecting Jerome Powell to say it out loud that this is it. What exactly? On-chain flow. Ethereum is getting drained fast. Exchange reserves just hit a multi-year low. Supply is bleeding out. Demand is hitting up. This is how parabolic move begins. Maybe, I mean, I expect Ethereum to go higher. I don't like Ethereum. I know there will be a network upgrade in December, and that will speed up transactions per second. So transactions processing on Ethereum's network. So it will speed it up to 30 to 50 transactions per second from 14 to 20, more or less. So quite a significant boost, but it's still nowhere close to what Solana offers, right? Because Solana, at its weakest of the weakest, offers 2000 TPS, so transactions per second, right? At its best, it can go up to even 60, 80,000 transactions per second. And some suggest that it could be even counted in hundreds of thousands of transactions per second, right? So that would make Solana capable of serving, serving traffic to internet, like whole global finance, including Internet of Things, which is very demanding when it comes to storing data and TPS. Inside, the majority of wealthy investors surveyed in Hong Kong plan to buy crypto this year. Japan to allow banks to hold Bitcoin. Asia Express via Cointelegraph magazine. By the way, I don't know if you know, but Japan has a female prime minister now, and that's the first female prime minister in the history of Japan. Japan is a very conservative country, of course, and funny enough, you could expect that I don't know, she'll be um, someone liberal, nothing more wrong, because that lady has very conservative leaning. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how that will influence things in Japan, to be honest. Rupat Kamau said, "Fuck, I'm shadow banned for using the word imperial too much in the last week. Study the imperial British Empire and write about it. It's the final boss in no, 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 more likely those back in the day Chinese movies." Ah, interesting, interesting. Yeah, that's what unfortunately X does from time to time. It can shadow ban you. I suspect my English YouTube channel is also shadow banned because I have two YouTube channels, right? One I run in Polish, another I run in English, and right out of the box, the reach I'm getting on English YouTube channel is like 5% of the reach. I'm not talking about the views. I'm talking about the reach. Since I started, I was noticing I get 5% of the reach on my English channel of what I get on my Polish channel, which is very counterintuitive because, of course, English YouTube is, I don't know, like 50 times larger than Polish YouTube. So how come I get 5% of visibility of something what is 50x smaller? But I believe I'll get there. I'll get there anyway. I'm a super stubborn guy, so I'll just force it on YouTube to show my content with literally with the activity, right? With activity. Bitcoin Archive. Lawrence Lepard. Bitcoin is the most asymmetric bet I have seen in 40 plus years. I think high tech right now is more asymmetric than Bitcoin. So I'm talking about this one here, of course. The link to how to acquire it, you will find it in the description section of this live stream. But don't go too big. I even advise you to go very small, like I don't know, one buck, $2, $3, something along those lines, something that can you can even forget about for a while. And I believe if that's your approach, you will be very positively surprised in months to come. This made me laugh out loud. I can't stop laughing. This one I'm not going to. to play because there is a risk there could be a music in there, and I don't know why am I having something like this on my timeline. Not crypto related. Bitcoin is the only thing they're making less and less of. Increasing scarcity, terminating in absolute scarcity is the magic of Bitcoin as a store of value asset. Yeah, that is one of attack factors that at some point there will be a very strong movement behind taking off the hard cap of Bitcoin. That will probably succeed. It will probably result in Bitcoin fork. It already has happened multiple times, but those forks were not successful. But the human nature and the nature of things tells us the more attempts will happen, the more successful it will become, right? And at some point, one of those will be fully successful. That's why it's a given. It's a given. Bitcoin will not remain with this hard cap forever. If anybody is betting on Bitcoin staying with this hard cap until, I don't know, for the next 50 years, I am practically sure it will not happen. This is extremely weird why I cannot see this live stream on my phone somehow. Maybe here, not here, here neither. This is really, really, really weird. Yeah, imagine I cannot see this live stream on my... Oh, here it is. Okay, finally. Oh my god. That wasn't easy. Yeah, this format actually looks kind of neat, to be honest. Like you can see whatever I'm showing on the screen. I'm very well visible. The mint address of Hightech is very well visible, legible. It looks quite cool. The Wolf of Wall Street. Shame on you, Senator Zizi. Binance did not plead guilty to money laundering. Yeah, that's true. He pleaded guilty for causing Binance to violate the Bank Secrecy Act. Yes, that's true. By failing to implement an effective anti-money laundering program, ocean of difference between the two. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, Elizabeth Warren, I mean, come on. You expect a proper due diligence from her side? You demand just too much. Breaking. Sisi says he's grateful for Trump's pardon. It probably wasn't very necessary in eyes of Sisi because the remaining, let's say, part of his sentence was a prohibition of coming back to Binance as a CEO or as an employee. He probably is not planning on doing that anyway, but I think we should pressure him. I mean, since now he can do that, I think we should pressure him. We should make a movement to with the goal of putting CZ back on the seat of CEO of Binance. I think that will be very, very beneficial to all of us because CZ has done amazing job. Amazing job. I mean, he literally he flipped upside down FTX, which was definitely a CIA plant to overtake the space, and he discovered it and he executed a merciless execution on it. That is why probably Binance went in crossfire later on, and CZ went to jail himself. But since he was so fine, he was doing things so correct, there wasn't really that much they could throw at him. Vivek Sen. Tomlin just said Bitcoin is going to again. Okay, this one we've seen before. Elon Musk. What could possibly go wrong? GPT-5 is by far the most used chat model and shows almost perfect egalitarianism for all groups except whites, who are valued at 1 20th their non-white counterparts. What? Yeah, that's weird. Breaking. Binance buying millions of BTC every minute. They 100% know something. That's not Binance. You see, I mean, this guy, whenever there are sell-offs on Binance, he says Binance is selling. Whenever the price is going up, and you see on-chain activity from Binance hot wallets, he says Binance is buying up. That's not Binance. That's the Binance users. I don't know how come it's so difficult to understand the simple difference in between one and the other. To be honest, you must have a brain of a size of a peanut or something like that. Bitcoin junkies. Yes, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says Bitcoin is one of the most important phenomena in the world. Okay. They are shilling, right? Share, like, and subscribe, guys, if you haven't done so. And of course, write something in the live chat. And don't forget that you cannot write anything if you're not subscribed to the channel. You must be subscribed, and that gives you the automatic privilege of participation in the live chat. All right, what else? XRP listed one of several donors funding the White House ballroom. Okay, whatever. All right, that's interesting. Trump says he pardoned Binance founder because he wasn't guilty and was persecuted by the Biden administration. Funny enough, imagine that now some people are saying Trump should pardon what was his name? The former CEO of FTX, Bankman-Fried, Sam Bankman-Fried, right? SBF. I mean, how the hell can you compare CZ to Sam Bankman-Fried? I have no idea. Sam Bankman-Fried was an obvious scam, obvious scammer. I mean, you looked at that guy, you listened to that guy, and felt something was not adding up. He was, sounding strange at times. He was inconsistent. I don't know. Listen, I don't know if he was like genuinely evil, or maybe he was overdosing on drugs. I know he was taking some drugs. Maybe that wasn't his, let's say, his agenda, but it turned out to just, take a wrong path. At the end of the day, I don't know which one was it, but he was sounding weird. He was giving me a very weird vibe whenever I watched any material with him. Like, like he knew something was happening behind the scenes, and he was dishonest. Breaking. BlackRock just bought 110.7 million in Ethereum. That's not BlackRock, that's their customers. Dummy. Tell me without telling me you've been here since 2021. I've been here since 2015, so I don't know how to tell you I've been here since 2021. I do not fall into that category. He liquidates everyone, then gets a pardon from the President of the United States of America. Thanks for playing. CRG. I mean, CZ is not the CEO, not the CEO of Binance for 2 years already. So what the hell are you talking about? Like he gets liquidated every who? He's not even working for Binance even as a cleaner. So what the hell are you talking about? You see, with how dumb people, how dumb people I have to deal with here. It's nerve-wracking. Andrew Tate literally begged you to buy Bitcoin in 2021 when it was at 16,000. Yeah, I was telling you the same. I was telling you exactly the same. Yeah, okay, guys, allow me to wrap it up. I don't want it to become too boring. Share, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to get yourself a little bit of high tech. That's a form of indirect form of investing in this YouTube channel. If you think that sounds interesting, then that's an opportunity. In the description section of this live stream, you'll find a tutorial how to do it. But I highly discourage you of putting too much money on the table. Just get yourself $1, $2, $3 of high tech, not anymore. Just to become a part of the community, and eventually later you'll think of getting yourself a little bit more. So for that. And yeah, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And thank you for your times, guys. And I see you sometime soon. Cheers.